Yeah, I'm going to show how I seal up the silo bag and talk about the versatility of these bags a little bit. Advantage of these over like bunk silos and silos, and one thing you can do on these bags is mark when you change feed. And where is my mark? Right here. This is one from here down. It's from one set of fields. And you can mark little house. That's what we call the house is down there. It's relatives from Michigan that own it. It's just a little house down there, and that's why we call the fields a little house. And that was from all them down there. And then like this mark here, from this mark to this mark is one of them silage wagons fulls. Yeah, you can keep track of that way. You can make out notes on here, like say if you put, I've written the dates on here, and a lot of times you don't need that information. I've kind of got away from it, but you know, I got marked when the fields change, but you can put the dates on it. If you're using like 2 or 3 different, got a different silage inoculant from somewhere, you can mark this was this inoculant, this here was that inoculant. Another thing you can do is when I was done with this, say I was going to corn silage, or if I really wanted to because I was going into a different hay field, I could have pulled the bagger off, sealed the bag, and you can have them separate. Problem with that is you're losing close to 20 to 25 foot of bag by the time you pull off, get enough of a tail that you can seal up, and then pull and tie a new tail on to start a bag. But that's the other benefit of these bags too. Just because you buy a 200 foot bag doesn't mean you got to do a 200 foot bag. You could do a 50 foot bag. You know, if I have, you know, when I get done bagging for the person I'm bagging for now, they're supposed to only want to do 150 foot, and I can't get a 150 foot bag right now. So I should have about 50 foot of bag I could use for something. So like I say, it's a little more versatile than silo stuff because you put stuff in a silo, you don't know what you're getting to until you get there. Another advantage of these silo bags is, okay, I know I'm changing fields right here. This is all different feed from here on. Okay, I'm here when the nutritionist comes. Well, if I had a silo, there's no way to sample that stuff. Bunk silos, you're layering it, so it just gets all mixed. All you can do is pull like an average sample. Well, here now I know I'm changing. I can come here, we can cut a hole in the bag, dig in there, get a sample, and tape the hole back up. So by the time I get to this mark, he's got a new feed mix ready for the new feed. So that's one of the advantages of silo bags. You're not limited to where you can put them. You know, I got this field here is like 2 acres, 3 acres. I could fill the whole field up with bags if I wanted to. You know, so there's a lot more versatility. The other thing is, I don't know why I can't make a decent grass bag. My grass bags always turn out lumpy. I guess I'm just too damn stupid to know what the hell am I doing. Corn bags, I'll try to get a video of the corn bag we're doing, come out a hell of a lot better. And like I say, it's hard to set the pressures because it's all varies with the moisture, the length of cut. There's just so much variables with grass. It's hard to get them to come out right. Now, like I say, this is 550. And like I say, one hell of a mess here. I don't know why the hell I did it here. And then that ended here. So now all this, and I didn't mark the one bag, all this up to probably about in here is from a different field, and then the last 2 or 3 loads I put in was from the field out back here. So I didn't really mark them, and it ain't gonna make much difference. But like I say, with bunks, and the disadvantage of these bags, once you open them, you can't seal them again. I still haven't figured out a way to reseal an open end. What the hell else I was going to say about them? But like I said, the ideal way, if anybody watches the 10th generation dairyman, the setup he has at their heifer barn where they got several silos. They got conveyors underneath every silo that feeds over to the TMR mixer. They can mix everything there, and then it conveys it out into the bunk feeder. So all they gotta do is flip levers, which is nice, but like I say, there's a lot more mechanics there, a lot more maintenance to do. If you're in a cold climate like I am, I mean, they get cold down there. I'm in northwest Pennsylvania. I've heard of guys, now these silo unloaders have chippers on them. They're supposed to chew through ice and everything. Well, it doesn't always work that way, and I've heard of guys going in silos with chainsaws, trying to cut the silage away from the wall so the unloader would work. So like I say, there's a lot of maintenance, a lot of hassle with them too. Another thing, like I say, if you're selling it, it's easier to load out of these bags onto a trailer for somebody and try to get it out of silos. But there's two ways I seal them up with. Now, like I say, right here I do have enough tail. I could have probably got another load in this bag and been right to the very end. But with a tail like this, the trick is you want to pull as much slack out of these as you can. And however you gotta fold it, you know, to get it as tight as you can. I'm gonna do a little monkeying with this one here. But you get this pulled in enough, you just take an 8-foot 2x4 and start rolling it up on it. And then you take another 2x4 and lag screw it or drywall screw, whatever, just to hold it together. Well, that works nice, and like I say, it takes a little more bag to do that. If you want to really take them to the end, I just do this. Dump a bucket full of dirt on it. So, I'll take a minute here and try to get this end straightened out a little bit better, a little tighter seal, and then I'll show you how I cover it. So there, I got pretty close here now. The more times you can fold this over, the better. The more layers you're going to have folded over, more folds is going to make it more airtight. But you want to get it up as close to where the silage is in the bag as you can. So you want to get as much slack out of here as you can. Just like that. And then doesn't have to be any fancy dirt either. It's just some stuff I had scraped up. It's got some weeds in it, but what I like to do is dump it right at the base here. Get it start rolling out. And then pick up and move forward. So you don't want to dump it right up here on the bag all at once. You risk putting a hole in it from the rock or something. So like I said, I like to dump it back here and kind of roll it in, and then put the weight of the bucket down and pack it down on. And I say right now that's sealed, but I'm gonna go get another bucket full. And I say dump this right across here, and dump this right here. I say I want all of anything that's folded over, I want covered with dirt. And it should be fine. Like I said, I finished this 3 days ago, and it's been sitting here. It's been folded over, and a little bit of old silage on it to keep it from flapping, which doesn't hurt nothing. But if this was corn, I'd be a little more worried. Corn will makes a gas, and it'll balloon right up. So like I say, I usually wait 2 or 3 days before I seal it. Grass still gases, but most of it should be worked out. And just have to keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't get too puffy. Like I say, another thing to do with corn, I'll take a piece of the tape that comes with these bags, put a strip on here, and then cut a cross in it if it starts ballooning up, and let it vent out for 2 or 3 days. Put a piece of tape down. That helps prevent any risk of that the cut you put in there spreading out more, and then you can just tape right up over it again. Like I say, that's a little bit of the benefits of these bags, the versatility of them. This is how I seal them. Like I say, the only drawbacks I have on them is I don't really like, you're kind of riding the clutch. You know, you gotta keep moving the wagon with the bagger, and you don't really get the clutch completely engaged, so you're always riding it to move it forward, which not too bad, but I mean, it ain't any different than doing loader work, I guess. And mud holes. I mean, unless you got concrete or something, or good drained area, graveled area to put these on. That's why I have these tracks. It's the only way you can get the bags out. I mean, grass is miserable to get it out of. I mean, you'll sit there and spin with a skid steer unless you got tracks on digging grass out. But, yeah, like I say, if you go through my list of videos towards this spring, I have one digging up there. I mean, it shows the mud hole I go through. And that this can make. I mean, like I say, last fall and spring, it was wet. It was kind of above the ordinary how bad it gets, but you can be a mud hole with these things. So that's one other real disadvantage of these bags. But like I say, I've seen people with bunk silos make a mess. One dealer told me one time he sold somebody a box manure spreader specifically to get rid of the rotten silage out of his bunk silo. They were all slurry manure, but they sold him a box spreader just to get rid of rotten silage. And say silos, they're expensive. I mean, I looked at this is back in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. I looked at putting up a silo, 14 by 40, and I think at that time it was like $25,000 or something. And the problem with the silo is, say 3-4 years down the road you sell the cows, you're stuck with that silo. I mean, you'll be lucky to give it away. I mean, somebody might give you $500, $1,000 and tear it down and move it. So that's another reason why I went with the bag. I mean, I paid $12,000 for my bagger back, oh, it's been at least 15 years now. I bet I could probably still get $10,000 out of that bagger today. And I mean, this bagger's done a lot of bags. The guy I bought it off and did custom work. And in 15 years, I averaged probably averaged 7, 8 bags a year between myself and I mean, in a couple of years, I've done 12, 15 bags. I mean, I've done well over 100 bags to that bagger, and I know he has. I mean, this bagger's probably done 300, 400 bags. So like I say, I mean, bagger has a little bit of resale value in the silo. Now, bunk silos, you buy them precast walls. You can move them. I mean, neighbor down here, he bought a silo somewhere, and then he sold the cows 2 years later, never had that bunk put up, sold the walls at the sale. So bunk silos are a little more versatile too. They're easier to fill. You know, you can fill them with dump trucks, but you're spending all that time running over packing it. So I mean, it's half dozen, one or another. This just works for my setup, and so I guess I get this finished up. I gotta go start chores. It's a little bit of my rambling on about why I do bags and stuff. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch up with you later.